Hey guys, how you doing? Here with JoEllyn McAtee, Team Juggernaut member and CrossFit competitor and co-owner of CrossFit Bluegrass in Louisville, Kentucky. How you doing today, JoEllyn?
Good.
So, JoEllyn, I know you were a bit of a track star in college. Can you tell us about your athletic background?
Well, I ran track and field. I ran the hurdles, and I went on to be a NCAA Division I athlete at the University of Louisville and Liberty University, where I ran the 100-meter hurdles and the 400-meter hurdles. So two totally different exercises or races, but still skill involved. I got to compete in both the Big East and the Big South conference meets. So I think that was probably the highlight of my collegiate career, was being able to compete in both of those conferences. Two totally different conferences,
yeah.
But it was great exposure to both and how they run them and the competitors in both and all that. So.
What were your PRs in the hurdles?
14.2 was the my 100-meter sprint hurdle PR, and then the 400-meter hurdles. Is it bad that I don't know exactly what it is? It's like
I'd want to forget what my 400 hurdle PR is too.
I only did the 400-meter hurdles for a couple of years.
That's a brutal race.
Yeah, actually, if I would have CrossFitted in college, I would have been able to improve my hurdle time tremendously. I mean, I think I could go out right now not having hurdled in a long time and improve that race from what I've learned about my body through CrossFit and how I've improved just my overall fitness than what I would have done in high school or in college.
So what was your introduction to CrossFit?
My husband is a police officer, and he went through academy training, and they used CrossFit in the academy. And so that was my first exposure through him, and he knew I was looking for a job. I was looking for something new and different and in the fitness field, and he directed me towards CrossFit, and I walked in, did a couple workouts, and was totally hooked, and never did anything else. Looked in, got certified or became a trainer, CrossFit trainer, and then eventually ended up opening my own box.
So how long have you been CrossFitting?
I've been CrossFitting for about 3 years. It'll be 4 years in August.
Do you know your CrossFit anniversary date?
I do know I know it was in August. So yes, I do know that I started my first, actually like deciding that's what I was going to do was in August. So.
And I'm sure all you guys have seen CrossFit games on TV, and for myself doing online programming for a lot of different clients, and programming for CrossFit competition is one of the most challenging things possible, because you don't exactly know what you're getting ready for. So just kind of tell people about the challenge, what you see as the great challenges for you in competing in CrossFit.
Well, I think programming and competing are almost two different things, because programming for CrossFit, there's not a set this is the best way to program for CrossFit, because everyone's different, and in CrossFit you have to focus on so many different elements that some people might need more training in skill, mobility, gymnastic movements, where other people are really lacking more in strength or endurance or whatever. And it's hard, you can't gain all of that at one time. You have to focus on something, then be okay with where you're at, where then you can focus on something else. So as far as my training goes, I think it breaks down at this point in time with the Open coming up and the CrossFit Games coming up. At this point in time, my training is based more on skill or technique, I should say, and being able to be efficient for the longest period of time. So that would probably be where my focus is now, going into the Open and regionals. You know that going into the Open, it's gonna be light and fast and quick workouts, but then when you get to regionals, it's gonna be a little bit longer, a little bit heavier. So you have to be aware of, not stopping your training just to make it to the Open, but looking ahead and realizing, once you get even at regionals, you only are working out 2 workouts a day for 3 days. If you make it to California, you go to California, you're doing 4 or 5 workouts over 4 or 5 days. So once again, you have to keep the end goal in mind as you're training now for those different steps towards getting into the CrossFit Games.
I mean, is that where you see yourself this year, competing in CrossFit Games?
I would love to go to the CrossFit Games. I honestly think that, you never know. I mean, CrossFit is a growing sport, and it is unique. And so people are coming out of the woodwork, people will be coming from anywhere. So yes, I would love to go to the CrossFit Games. That'd be an ultimate goal. But first, my focus needs to be regionals, because of the fact it's not set in stone that I can make it to the games. I need to be able to be at my top performance at regionals, so that I do have the opportunity to perform my best there and then focus on the games after regionals.
And for you to perform your best, what do you see that taking as far as what do you see as your strengths and your weaknesses as a CrossFit competitor right now?
I think in CrossFit you don't have to be great at anything. Obviously, unless you're like Rich Froning, then you're great at everything. But you even look at Annie Thorsdotter's stats, and I think she won one event last year in the CrossFit Games, but she was in the top 10 in every event.
Yeah.
So I think as far as what my strengths and weaknesses would be, is looking at those things where I'm below average and working on making them at least average, or above average, hopefully. And I think that would basically be more of the strong elements of CrossFit. I feel confident in my skills. I feel confident in my endurance and working on speed a little bit, but also I think what gets me down is those clean ladders and those snatch ladders, is I need to be a little bit above average, and that comes from that technique work and being able to use those Olympic lifts in a Metcon. I need to be able to do them most efficiently, which is going to be that technique that I really need to work on, so that I don't wear out one area of my body just to be quick and fast. I need to make sure I get that technique down.
So tell us about CrossFit Bluegrass.
CrossFit Bluegrass opened in September, so we've only been open about 6 months, and we are a CrossFit specific gym. So we offer CrossFit classes, and that's what we train. We want to train CrossFitters. We don't. We're seeking to produce the best CrossFitters possible in the state, and that's our goal. And so when you walk in the doors, we're going to think like a CrossFitter. We're going to work out like a CrossFitter, with our ultimate goal being that open regionals, games, whatever your goal is, and if it's that everyday functional fitness, then we're going to produce the best functionally fit people that we can walk around Louisville. So I think that makes us a little different than a lot of other CrossFit gyms. A lot of times CrossFit gyms are using that as an aspect of other things that their ultimate goals are, but our ultimate goal is to produce the best CrossFitters out there.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, JoEllyn. Make sure you guys are going to jtsstrength.com, checking out JoEllyn McAtee's training log, owner of CrossFit Bluegrass, hopefully a 2013 CrossFit Games competitor. All right. Thanks, JoEllyn.